Flash smoke on Exist, who is also the bomb carrier. In towards the mid default, on towards counter boost. Flashbang Smokes trying to look for as much information, try and get as much blind vision on FaZe as they can. Rain will spot the first man, shut down Get Right, but just as I say that, NiP will make their way all the way up towards Zed. Forest frags down Guardian. Olaf on just 21 points of health. They have mid control, they have control of highway. This is very, very good stuff so far from NiP.
Nico, though, the player on quad. A tough one for them to tackle. Peeking around, the Glock gonna spot him out. Forest tapping him down. A second as well on towards Carrigan, making it problematic. Forest comes back into the server on form. Triple kill for him. Opening up for the Quadra overall. NiP, a pistol stolen away from FaZe.
And it seemed like initially, you know, like we were expecting FaZe to be very, very dominant into this matchup. A very, very good start here from NiP, and the kind of start that you want to be seeing them take, especially on the T side, like Mirage. Wow, Cash. See, this is just getting our hand flakes. We're really starting to fall behind our game, aren't we? It's just down to Deagles and CZs. Okay, I'm starting to fall behind my game. You're doing okay, but you still teased us about all the conversations going on in the server, of which we still don't know much about. I know, but they don't know much about, so...
Now you're just teasing the chat. Inside jokes are just not cool. Exist and his Galil trying to see if he can deal with those players towards Squeaky. A-Main going to be under pressure as Nico. Head ripped off by the UMP of Get Right. Olafmeister playing back with the CZ. Will secure a kill. Rain as well, doing just the same. Repeat from the Deagle. Not quite going to find it. Olafmeister trying. Third shot. Lucky. Nope. Bit of a struggle now. Oh, FaZe with advantage. At least they've got that going for them.
Ooh, good shot from Guardian. Shutting down Rez. There's a 4 versus 2 now. Favor to FaZe. The bomb will make his way in towards main. That's Exist and Forest. Trying to challenge up against Guardian and Olafmeister. 50 seconds on the clock. They have to go relatively quick here. NiP and Olaf is holding very, very close range here. On the forklift. Deagle out. Carrigan here to support, and eventually Olaf will end up falling. Carrigan tapping away with the Deagle, spams it 1 HP. Will survive and leave it up to Forest alone for NiP. CT's on rotation, the backstabs are set, and Forest will tap down Carrigan. Look for Guardian as well, but Guardian's got a Deagle of his own right. Waiting for the peek, waiting for the pick. Forest also watching out the backstab, which is great because Rain is right there, but Rain also has a Mac 10, and he will shut down the whole show. It will be FaZe picking back around 1-1.
The force bite. Looking out for FaZe. Pretty good situation for them. All in all now as well. Their opposition, of course, going to be on those pistols. The CZs being the majority. Draken, Rez, and Get Right. Kind of curious to see how FaZe approach this, of course. They seem to be just going for these very standard defaults. Very basic crossfire setup of yellow and quad. A bit further forward than quad, in fact. The flash play leads out one towards A. Get Right popping out with the CZ. Rez actually making a kill stick, but only one. Nico lurking through the smoke in A main. Here's the steps of Get Right, but is going to sneak towards the site itself. Looking for quad. Finds the first kill. Now looking for a second. Forest stuck on the spot. The wide swing comes through. Nico good for the kill, but the trade from Exist is going to be strong enough. Olafmeister finishing it all off. It's just on Get Right.
He will fall just as efficiently. FaZe good on the retake, and particular props to Nico for holding back in the smoke. NiP had absolutely no idea he was there. So just peeking out, shutting down the bomb planter. And it does get traded back, sure, but the rest of FaZe are there for the trade back as well. So they pretty much got the whole thing on lock. It's a very good start from the CT side to pick a couple conversions away from NiP and deny them. Now down to the eco, or deco, I should be politically correct. 4 Deagles and a P250 for the likes of Draken in his default. Hoping to catch up a couple of players, but for the most part it is rifles for FaZe. Shouldn't be nothing too hard they can deal with, as they also go aggressive with the likes of Carrigan. MP9 in his hand underneath the boost spot, hoping to catch up a player that moves on through, or otherwise looking for mid control. NiP a little bit backs against the wall here, probably just looking towards that rifle round more than anything else.
Patience from FaZe here. Allowing these pistols out on towards the A site. An interesting decision, but they don't have the bomb, so NiP actually can't really do too much with it. Nico just being careful not to risk his head getting blown off by a Deagle, but it still happens anyway. Rez, very, very nice shot. Draken Then gonna pick it up, gets on top of the boost, get right, taking down Carrigan. More shots coming in, Draken. Getting Guardian to 78 HP. The boost up once again. Going for more, Guardian still standing. Repeat after repeat, Draken struggling. Then goes for Olaf, but won't come through. Exist, meanwhile, he'll land as he takes down Rain. The pushes still continue. It's biding time at this point for Get Right.
Oh.
Slips him from behind. Just like that, Exist finishes it off. NiP 2-2. This isn't going to be a quick one for FaZe so far.
Oh dear. They were banking on it being a quick one as well. They really, really want it to be over and done with. So we go into our first rifle round of the matchup. AK's out for NiP. Saved M4, of course, for Get Right. And Draken as well, for that matter. And FaZe buying down in everything. A very clean round from NiP to pull together all the deagles and all the headshots that shot down FaZe Clan in their finest manner of form. Rain will kick things off, however, with 1 of 4 M4s available for FaZe. Spraying down Draken. He just kind of peeks in without any sort of plan or plan of action for NiP. Just looking for a pick, looking to go aggressive, and throws away his life for it. Not a good start for NiP, but still got 4 players to play with. Still got a little over a minute on the clock, so Bomb will wrap his way in towards the halls area, and Forrester has actually made his way in towards Checkers, so they have a bit of map control. NiP, it's a very good setup.
Works out for them for now. Guardian will be the first point of contact for that B set. Rain, much the same. Guardian makes it stick. The first headshot on towards Forest, but the second won't come through. Exist there to secure the trade. Rez being patient in mid, rewarded as he kills off Carrigan. Rain as well falling, thanks to Get Right. Everything in place now for NiP. Rez, knowing the position of Nico, makes things 10 times harder. Olaf coming from heaven, but each tap, they all miss. No kill yet to be collected. Rez almost solidifying the round as he kills off Nico. Olaf will just back away, a rifle to be saved. NiP, they take the lead, 3-2.
And nicely done from the T side. Pistol, don't manage to find the conversions, but with a nice simple deco, shuts down FaZe, leaving Olaf left to save. And NiP will have a very unexpected lead above end of the Wow, I am really
wow, you can't speak.
Today.
It's gone.
Yeah, wow.
All over, buddy. I said hardier, now you just can't say anything at all. It's really gone downhill from here. But yeah. See what hasn't gone downhill. The economy of NiP, actually, it's really built up. $7,000 on Rez, $4,050 on Get Right. Really strong situations for NiP to find themselves in. Of course, FaZe, polar opposite almost. Very little to spend. $2,000 basically being the benchmark here. Nico gonna block the molly and actually pushes into a main. Does lead to a kill with the USP. Olaf putting working with the rifle as he takes down Draken. Exist, hungry for the trade, starts to find it. Nico is going to be dead to rights, but more being done towards mid. This is the spotlight in the round now. FaZe using Olaf as that catalyst. Rain coming up through mid. His aggression invent leads to another frag as he kills off Rez. Exist, last man standing. 1 rifle. The rest on that full eco. FaZe trying to make it work. Exist bringing it back somewhat, but the position of Olaf allows him to go for that triple kill. FaZe, yet again, 3-3, tying it up with NiP.
Still NiP have money to play with. AWP, AK should come through. A full buyback from the T side. Forrest, I think, has been dropped to rifle as well. Yeah, there is 1 AK on the floor, so full sets of utility for everybody for Ninjas in Pajamas. FaZe, vice versa, is almost the same. They don't have quite the same set of utility, but they still have the single orb setup in play, and Guardian's going to put that to work. Shut down Draken straight in on the boost spot. Kill to the favour of FaZe, and once again NiP are locked out of this one. Still got a few minutes to work with. They've got 1 minute and 30 on the clock, and the default hasn't quite worked out to the way that they would have wanted it to. They can make their way in towards mid. They can also wrap in towards A main. But look at Carrigan, he's tempted to go pushing, and indeed he will, alongside 1 more. The AWP shot of Forest rings out, but doesn't quite find anything. Rez actually going to see if they can cut them off as the squeaky door is open. He takes down Nico. Carrigan with a quick trade back on Get Right. So the 4 versus 3 favour to FaZe.
Rez going to play peekaboo with the door, swings out of Squeaky, pops in for a quick visit to Carrigan. Now goes over on towards Red to finish off Guardian as well. Olafmeister at least able to trade. Making it a 2-for-2. Rain under pressure and connector, but survives as he dominates Exist. Forest. One man up against two. Coming in through B main. A lot of time for him to work with, and no real rush at this point because FaZe, all of their forces over on towards highway or car. Giving chance to Forest to plant for B main, a very open plant. He can go checkers, pretty much wherever at this point.
Wait a minute. FaZe think it's B. No, they think it's A. Eventually, Olaf will wrap back around as they realise Forest isn't on this site, and the Molotov, he's bought himself so much time. FaZe trying to make their way in. Olaf flashing his way through halls. Forest is the last man, 48 HP, holding back on a site, but so much time has been bought. He takes down one, looking for Olaf, trying to spray on through. Ring of Rosies. Olaf will get the kill, but does he have enough time for this defuse? I don't think he does, but he's got a kit. Very close. Olaf will get it. And FaZe will barely cinch themselves a fourth after a huge, huge fake from Forest.
Right down to the wire, but it is what it is. FaZe stepping out ahead. NiP will happily force this one up. A buy that isn't the greatest, but it's definitely not half bad either. 3 AKs acting as your core. You've got the UMP and the Galil as well. Get right. Pretty much does nothing by the smoke. But it's pretty on par with FaZe. Early nade in towards a main. Forest looking almost to get aggressive with Rez. Unable to do anything just yet as that smoke makes it just too big of a risk. Squeaky, however, that could be open. You could peek towards Fork, start to clear things out. Face down highway through a cross smoke. A good flash on towards site. But a deep nade makes it problematic. Again, Rez put down to almost 50 HP, and Molly to burn Nico out of position. He stands his ground, peeks for the tap, takes down Exist. Before he's hungry for more. Molly again towards door, really shutting down NiP. Rez forced to push. A second frag for Nico. A nade towards Forklift. That may even be a third, and so it shall be. Dunking the head of Forest.
NiP, 2 players, well, 1 player left now on Get Right, trying to set something up towards the A site, but nothing much left in the tank for him. Caught out in mid, 2 CTs closing the gap, and Guardian will end his life and end NiP's chances in round 8. Broken economy. T side got 3 rounds of loss bonus, but after the buy in that last round means that, well, there's very little available here for them. Probably going to be an eco. Less than likely to see a full force. Maybe a couple of upgrades pistols, which Draken will get out, and Forest and Rez, and Exist. So yeah, hopefully headshots can come through, but outside of that, probably going to be a 6th round here for FaZe Clan. The dominant streak begins now. Vice versa on their side, though. The economy hasn't quite built up for the CT side, so still an opportunity here for NiP if they can shut them down in the next couple of rounds, manage to take some picks away with these pistols. It could be a good option. Right now, they will make their way in towards A site. It's only Nico there to defend.
That's the beauty of the situation for NiP. With just Nico here, surely this is too much for him to handle, but Nico surprises us only with 1 kill. Karrigan running away for a second as Exist does fall. Olaf, the head of Get Right. Things start to look stronger, but the CZ from Rez is crispy clean. Does take down the head of Olaf. Rain, hungry for more, swings him from highway, deals with Draken, and just like that, FaZe will push on forward, 6-3.
Very nicely done, but vice versa from NiP. Like I said, they were most looking for a bomb plant damage, and they got both. 3 kills, Olaf, Karrigan, and Nico falling in that last round, meaning that they have to force the issue back with a couple more rifles. AWP is getting tossed around. Let's have a look what the money standing is like after this buy. Might not be as bad as I initially expected it, but 3 players below $3,000 is, well, 4 players below $3,000 is still not the best situation. NiP can still break FaZe, can still reset the money, and after that, that's just eco after eco to the favour of the T-siders. They go once again into their default, A-centered, mid-centered. No presence towards B, but Draken's got the AWP to cover off halls in case any CT goes aggressive, but not much available here for NiP. FaZe are going to be playing this very disciplined. Rez does manage to force the issue on towards Nico, taking him out towards the forklift. That will be opening bit to the favour of NiP.
The A setup poised in action for NiP. An AWP looking Hawkeye through that cross smoke. Frag grenade to run deep, pushing Exist down to 50 HP. Forest casually just stutter stepping into Rain. Guardian does strike the AWP, pulling through with a pick on towards Rez. But more to be done. Has to be more aggressive, really. But have to wait for Karrigan at the same time. A double-edged sword The bomb ticks on down. They do have kits.
Draken. Okay. Draken almost got that flick. He didn't quite see where Guardian was holding from. Get right, we'll be able to find that kill barely. And the spray is coming on through the T, trying to lock this thing out. It's only Olofmeister left for FaZe, who will hold a fight, but not much other than that. Will go falling, and 3 players will not survive for NiP. 2 staying in play. Draken exists, but I don't know if you saw Draken's point of view there, but he looked directly at Guardian and didn't find a pick. Didn't take the shot. That's a bit of a Reddit moment, I'll be quite honest. FaZe forced down to a bit of a force buy here. 3M4's the UMP and a Deagle out to play. NiP definitely have the better buy-in towards this next round.
Deep nades once again are going to find themselves running through into B main. Exists down to 75 HP. Rez pushing up, clearing out Squeaky Door bit by bit. That alleyway is going to be filled with a few FaZe Clan members and a molly as well. Begins to burn away. Carrigan and Rain have to be careful here. They try and escape, and the molly does a pretty good job of allowing them to do just that. Retreat to the site, fortify their defenses, and most importantly, gives them the option to rotate if they want and kind of just rejiggle the general setup.
Spray comes back from Forest, does take Carrigan. Aggression from FaZe Clan starting to cost them a little bit. As NiP take the man advantage back away and they drop one of those all-important rifles. The FaZe are so limited for here in round 11. 45 seconds on the clock now for NiP. Bomb will make his way into A main. 2 players also from Squeaky and Exist is looking for mid control. But look at this, a lot of aggression from Nico and Olofmeister. They could flash their way in. No, they're actually going to boost Olof onto the Shroud spot as Nico's holding back here. Going to pick up a rifle, try to run away. Do NiP read this particular position? Get right will try and look at it, but he doesn't quite see him. Olof will be able to capitalize, get 1 kill, but Get right with a quick trade connects the spray onto Rain, and Nico will fall all the same. Last man Guardian, a 1 versus 4. Deagle in his hand, but no round for him today. He will save the Kevlar and the Deagle and leave a 5th for NiP.
Doesn't even look like he's going to get an exit frag, unfortunately, which isn't exactly ideal. Things playing out not exactly as FaZe hoped. So much closer than both of the previous series. I mean, you do find yourself looking back at that, right? When these guys played in the past. FaZe, they've struggled on cash in the past. I mean, Big, for example, in EPICENTER, actually took a map off them. 1917, very, very close. But NiP specifically, really have had such a brutal time against this FaZe lineup. It's good to see them at least able to make it seem so much closer. Constant back and forth. Getting these 2-round stints together, which is good for their economy as well. But this is the turning point, round 12. Can they push forward, make it to 3 finally? Start to really build something out of this half.
FaZe got a pretty basic eco up for this next one. Will stack A, push aggressive in main, and they could catch off players close range. Rez meeting Carrigan, but Carrigan does get forced away by the Molotov. They don't have the information on where they're playing at, so they will wrap back in towards the B site, in towards mid control. Exist gonna get caught off guard as a result, getting tagged up by Nico and Olaf will take that kill. B site control is now in the advantage of NiP, but look at Rain. They don't realize it. He's gonna drop. Get right. Look for Forest. Can't land the headshot. And the bomb will be allowed to get planted for NiP, making some pretty key mistakes. Olaf's got an AK now, and Carrigan is wrapping in behind him. I wouldn't be surprised if they went for a retake right now, because they're not losing much, but instead of 3 versus 2, Carrigan pushes in, Forest spots him, doesn't quite get the kill, does take him in the end, and Olofmeister just left to save the AK-47. NiP take their 6th, but still a couple of mistakes being made by the T side.
That's the biggest thing for me. I mean, I talked about why this round was so important, but you know, we didn't really highlight too much that FaZe were on just this full eco. But you can't really knock FaZe back on a full eco, to be honest, because they've been doing so much damage to NiP. Making these rounds always come back to still close moments, even when they just have USPs. Still though, NiP do rightfully so close it out 6-6. FaZe back on the bye. But there will be no AWP in play, which is something that'll be interesting to see for FaZe. You know, a lot of their really big moments have come from these double AWP or single AWP setups. With 5 rifles, I'm curious to see just how competitive they'll be up against NiP, who seem much more rejuvenated than what we've seen of them in the past. Draken going for that mid pick, but quickly smoked off. Get Right and Co. all grouped up towards B, but Guardian. A very deep flash, followed up by a deep smoke as well, potentially. Really try and push them back. Doesn't want to have any early B aggression to deal with just yet. Guardian, knowing just how lethal that could be.
Oh, wow. Nice start, taking down Get Right. Just on the edge of the smoke, he will end up falling. A 4 on 5 now, favour to FaZe as they find that opening frag. NiP going to wrap this bomb in towards the B site. They might commit to this B site hit, but there are 3 players here to defend. Olof indirectly here from the events position and 2 on the site itself. As Molotov start raining on through, smokes, flash bangs, and NiP go for a pretty big B hit. Rez and Forest, the first couple of players in, as he does get that opener on Guardian. Exists getting a trade. Olaf drops in, does take down Draken, but Forest is quick to deal with him. Looking for Kerrigan as well, but unable to finish the job with the spray. 2 versus 2 as the bomb gets planted for the corner. Kerrigan and Nico held up in mid. Got to find 2 players here for the NiPT side. And Rez is holding back in checkers, trying to cut off the player, making his way in from vent spots. Nico bursts a couple of times, sprays his way on through, but unable to connect the damage, unable to connect the headshot, and Kerrigan will punish Exist as a result. Rez does get a trade back, but now it's down to 1 versus 1. Needs a head, needs a spray, needs to catch off Nico, but Nico will catch off Rez. No defuse kit in his hand, but I think he's got plenty of time here to get this defuse. FaZe looking to take number 7. Wait.
Edging them out. No, they've got it, don't you worry.
Okay.
I was
thinking, I was like, wait a second, hang on. This is beeping quite fast.
He got the AWP as well. That's actually really nice. With just a second to spare, snaps up that Hyper Beast, throws it to Guardian. It gives them at least another angle of attack now. For Draken, of course, who's just invested in another AWP. He's going to be taking that peek over on towards that B site. Had a pretty good spawn for it, so I wouldn't be surprised if he actually just flashes and swings out wide. Which he will. Won't quickly get a greet him though. Leaving with no angle to work with. Looking now towards the right side of Checker's Rain, buddy. You don't peek that. You know there's an AWP nearby. But you're probably not expecting it to be saved, I guess, which is why he goes to the aggressive route. Punished either way. He's at a 1-man disadvantage. Their B site significantly weakened. The NiP still want to work towards the A site. That Molly doing wonders for Guardian. Enabling him to find the quick trade. Nico a second as he opens up one towards Exist. Guardian peeks down in mid, takes down Draken. And there's really not much more NiP can do now. One last-ditch attempt to move out on towards that A site. But Guardian is just going to be curving these shots around, styling on his opponents. As Nico finishes it off with a headshot on Forest.
My God, what a start, what a finish from FaZe. Only losing a single man. The CT side will roll its way on through to 8 rounds, winning themselves a CT side half. Last round of the half coming into play, but NiP limited on funds here. 2 AKs, the AWP getting full support by Rez, Forest and Draken, but Exist and Get Right are left out in the cold with only CZs and not much else available for them. They're going to set early into the A site. 3 players with the bomb making its way into Squeaky. It looks like a very quick hit coming in from NiP, but Nico's quick to shut it down, takes down Get Right. Rez does respond, but Guardian with the AWP Exists, catches him off guard, close range, just out of his field of vision. Turning it to a 4 versus 3, the bomb will go down. Good grenade from Kerrigan, doesn't quite land where he wanted it to, doesn't quite get the damage on towards the NiP side, but FaZe will go for a retake anyway. Very aggressive. Kerrigan will get shut down by Forest in a 2 versus 4 now. NiP are in full control. Red sprays down Rain, and Forest gets Olaf Meister to close the scoreline out 8-7 to FaZe Clan.
Overall, a much closer half than what you'd expect though from NiP. I think major props has to be given to their T-set performance. Draken definitely struggling today, but let's see if he can bring back some of that movement we've seen from the previous series that allowed him to really step up with the AWP. Just currently stuck on the 1 kill. Well, a pistol round, a fresh slate for NiP. 3 players dedicated to mid, 1 up towards A, 1 towards B. Ray's going to be getting aggressive spotting for that B play. Carrigan, jump spotting. Ray's landing the shot, but not quite in the head. Only doing just about 25 damage or so to Carrigan. Smoke coming down into mid, but they'll boost right over it, really, to try and get them to spot out on towards boost. They want the information at this point. This Forest pushed up by Guardian, get right hungry for more. Trade after trade, but Raid, it's all on you now, buddy. The P250 slamming them down as Get Right Exist crumble with the presence of Raid. Draken hungry, but whiff after whiff. Finally, 5 shots in. But so much more for him to do. Backed up by Rez at least. But that bomb is ticking down. You've got Guardian, Carrigan, and Nico to contend with.
2 on 3. Favourites of FaZe, they've got control of A. The bomb is down, and look at Guardian lining up Rez, looking for Draken. Last man, 52 on the site, and 2 more out towards Quad to go ahead and push against. He will get the quick frag on the first man, stick the defuse, but Nico's right here. Guardian setting up a crossfire, even going in for the knife, the cheeky play as it is. And the 9th round will be on the board for FaZe Clan, the second pistol round of 2 going to their favour. And the AKs will come through. Ninjas in pyjamas should have a force buy as well, got enough for Deagle, CZs, etc. Or maybe they might go eco into this one. We've seen this more and more from teams, and yeah, they will go for a basic eco. Look for a more defined bite, which means that they haven't got much of a chance in this next round, but more than fine considering what FaZe Clan have to bring to the table.
I don't want to send Olafmeister in to kind of scout out across the map. Really, him getting kills is a huge boon for FaZe. Just the money being made, $600 a piece. Nonetheless, it will still be rifles. Garnering just a few frags in mid. Forest losing his head. Rain, of course, the man to do it all right now. As he continues his advances, Get Right. Next in line to face. Rain still tapping on away. That's 3 kills now secured. Against these pistols. Rez starting to cause a problem. Does spam away one on towards Carrigan. The second shot of that Deagle being so powerful. Once now more looking into vent. It's a good angle for him. But it's that one shot that really counts. Get Right just the same. Playing above the lip. Above mid, but it just doesn't come through. Rez last man, 15 HP. Damage is about the only talking point here.
And not much available for him now. Dead and buried in this round, and NiP, you know, as you would expect, no armor brought up by that CT side, so this one should also be a very basic full eco. Couple of grenades coming through, so NiP might like the idea of raining hell on FaZe when they make their way out of the main side, but the question is, where do they put it towards? Actually, they're just going to go put everybody towards B, try to see if they can shut down that early mid-control presence that FaZe might take, but sadly it doesn't do quite what they wanted it to do. Only little bits of damage on Guardian and Rain, not much more than that. Guardian even peeking in with the USP. Where's his rifle? I don't think he's got one. He can still land heads for it anyway. Taking down Get Right, looking for Exist. This is salt in the wound from FaZe's Guardian. And Rez is left alone. A 1 versus 5. P250, a broken team, and a dead dream in this round. FaZe make their way to 11.
FaZe really trying to run away with this. Really is the goal at this point. Get it over and done with, quick and easy. If you look at this map pool, you think it's perfect for FaZe, really, right? They just get to have like the likes of Nico, Olaf, and Guardian and kind of run around the map. Rain can just do his own thing. It's perfect for FaZe. Let's see if it continues to play out that way. Again, it was an impressive first half from NiP. But so far, nothing on their CT side. This is really their first buy. I'm really hoping for a few welcome changes. As Rez plays close upon the box. And no kill comes his way. Forest facing with him, so at least it's that double peek. They almost have to re-smoke it, which isn't ideal. A little utility being put in play. FaZe putting 2 players on boost. Just looking to take that control back from Exist. Who's going to be holding it all alone?
Minute still left for FaZe. Default hasn't worked towards a pick, so NiP playing it pretty decently. Just making sure they cannot lose that man advantage. Down by 4 rounds, 50 seconds now for FaZe to make their way in towards mid. They have pushed Rain up towards Icebox. Get right. Only real man that can challenge this in Zed does back away as the smoke does clear. Draken also on the A site itself, looking down from quad. Hoping to catch off one of these players. Guardian may just challenge him as well. Great shot from Guardian to shut down Draken. Opener from FaZe. A site is now thin. Only 2 players left, but Exist will try him right back, taking Rain out of the action. The bomb meanwhile will make his way on towards the B site, and the CTs are hearing this, calling a quick rotation as Rez gets traded out by Nico, and Carrigan follows up on towards Forest. 2 versus 3 now. Retake for NiP. Bomb will go down. FaZe will lose Nico. And now NiP will wrap on through. Get right, gets Carrigan as well. It's all Guardian. AWP to defend it from the backstab. No, he's not got time, never mind. And just like that, a couple of key kills, and NiP will be able to secure their 8th.
A lesson for you, a lesson for everyone at home. Look at the clock, boys. That's what it comes down to. They denied the plant. Guardian was basically nullified. Said he was just kind of, you can see him flicking around with the orb. Like, he's like, well, what can I do? Like, I'm basically useless now. You know, there's like 7 seconds left. There's no way I get any kills. I just saved the orb. It really sucks for him, but the ode was on the rest of his team to actually get it done, and they failed him, unfortunately.
Spray comes through, but Rez can't quite find an angle on FaZe. Damage of 0, no picks either. So just like that, NiP won't be denied anything. A double up setup coming in from FaZe as well. Guardian and off. Very, very aggressive. You don't see T-sides with a double up setup very often at all. CT sure, but for FaZe in this instance, very, very interesting indeed. Guardian in particular is peeking up towards the boost, and Olofmeister is out on B halls looking in main. Minute left to go on the clock, and of course FaZe will eventually swap in for their setup. It looks like A to be the hit. Smoke on the cross, flashbangs. Draken is here on Shroud boost. Looking in for Nico, but Nico spots him out first, shuts him down. And FaZe will start to roll their way onto the A site with kills all going to their favor. Guardian
clearing out the B site. No one there for them to find. Get right. About to be backstabbed by Nico if timing works out, which it will. A swift headshot as Nico executes him. Forest now saving towards CT. And a pretty smart decision from him all in all, because he needs the rifle. The Kevlar and kit all helping out the molly as well. It's just money saved for NiP, and they desperately need money in the bank. That's what, $6,100 in value? That's really a lot for NiP to be carrying forward. The 21st round is going to be a struggle. An effective reset dished out by FaZe. They move 12th way up in this game and continue to keep it very one-sided. In this second half, Forest looking for a few exits, doesn't want to use the molly, hesitated. And that may come back to haunt him now, as the flash is bad. But Olaf, his aim, not so much. A headshot, swiftly delivered. FaZe, there's the scoreline, but nothing saved for NiP. Putting their value in this round to barely $2,000 total. Not even that, 1,300. I mean, that says a lot. It's just USBs.
A reset for NiP. $1,400 lost bonus, and it's not looking good at all. Pistols out, Kevlar for some players. They will try and force the issue off FaZe Clan. These Deagles need to be bloody good from the likes of Rez. Spots Olaf, tries to go in for the face, but he can't land a single bullet, just getting tapped down instead by the AKs. AWP of Guardian doesn't quite get the shot on shot, but it's more than fine because Olaf is there to deal with it. And look at the amount of HP he lost. Rez landed virtually none of those shots, only a couple. Until he's basically Achilles heel. And FaZe, with that opening pick, will wrap their way into the A site. Bomb making its way there. 2 players already setting up. Rain, advanced angle, looking for a peek. Draken here needs to find a head of 1. 2 would be great. Molotov does push him out. He does get dinked down to 50 HP. As the flashbangs, the Molotovs, they ring on through. The T's make their way into the site. Guardian taking close range with the AWP, but Exist and Draken are going to take 2 kills back. Rain does get a trade of a 3 versus 3. But still, these CTs are holding a decent fight in hell. Forrest will take down Rain before getting traded back himself, and Get Right gets a kill. It's all Draken with the AWP, and he's locked the cross. Look at the position. This could still work for him if he can just take down Olofmeister right here on the corner. Spots him, shoulder peek. AWP shot into the flashbang. and he will run his way into the site for the defuse. Nicely played from Draken. Nicely played from NiP.
Keeping the dream alive, they'll move up to 9. Draken, an AWP as well, is just such a big win for NiP. You just aren't complaining right now. Draken's starting to wake up as well, which is nice to see. Up to 5 frags, of course. Really wanting to step up now into the spotlight, become that AWP player that we know and love. He's really got some finesse with the weapon. I just want to see that from him. And the more that NiP can coax that out, the more chances they've got of keeping this game closer and closer. Just 3 rounds of difference, bear in mind.
Oh, Brain. So perfect. Just a shame we didn't land onto anybody. NiP getting tickled more than anything else, but a stray headshot would have been tragic for that CT side. As FaZe go in towards their default, looking for a pick. Guardian looking in towards the counter boost, expecting players to make this move, and NiP so far haven't done so. Soon will make his way in with the AWP, of course, in his hands. Minute and 20 still left to go on the clock. FaZe have lots of time to play with. See, does NiP just going to hold back? Just wait. Flashbang's utility will come over into mid and FaZe. Well, NiP will be expecting FaZe to make their way on through as Forest sprays the first man. Blind Guardian does get taken down as well. 2 crucial kills and a little bit of utility smartness from the NiP side will lock themselves down. 3 kills untraded. Guardian, Rain and Nico forward. It's up to Olaf and Karrigan to try and pick up the pieces. Well, now just Karrigan alone in a 1-on-5.
Yeah, it's really gone all downhill from here. Karrigan at least going to find 1 kill, looking for a second if he can, quick as anything. The advantage through a main, but Forest is going to be just tucked in on the corner. Karen actually throwing the fake cross smoke to just try and kind of bait out some of these rotations, but it doesn't matter because Rez is holding that back flank. Karrigan hitting a very nice shot with the AWP, buys himself a bit of a chance. Now rotating in towards mid, 20 seconds left, really got to go fast. Knows someone's towards white box, but he's been spotted by Get Right, which is crucial here. Sees the head, lands the tag. Karrigan, very, very good work from him. I think it has to be said. Sure, he gets 2 kills and only the tag, but a lot better than what some other players would have done in those scenarios. Really nice thinking. Trying to look for that white box pick and was close. But unfortunately, it didn't quite finish him off. 12-10, NiP. Props ultimately do swing back to them as they are bringing this game back.
Yeah, but FaZe are still keeping this economy modest. $2,200 on Draken, the only man above that $1,000 marker. Look at this push coming in from FaZe. Pistols out, not going to waste any time. The AWP of Draken and Rez with his M4 will lock things out. Rez gets himself a double kill, looking for the triple. Well, actually, they only got a single kill, but eventually will lock out a triple kill. What happened there? I'm pretty sure Rez got himself the spray down. I must have missed something there, but it looked like it was going to be a quad kill for the man. But either way, NiP now within 1 of FaZe's 12. AK is getting brought back by the T side very quick into this round.
Get Right. Going to be looking straight away just to throw the standard mid-smoke. Molly up on towards boost. The point of this is that he can now get close. But damage being done, FaZe spraying away through those walls to try and push him back, doing 30 HP. Get Right now underneath that boost, the close mid setup. But it's so ballsy to do this just as 1 man. Usually you see this sort of setup when you've got 3 players in mid. Him doing it alone couldn't really work out as you've got that extra manpower. But I'd like to see him come and support him. We are starting to see that rotate actually come through. Forest just going to be the conceding the air main control that he did have. Rez and Draken still have that close setup on B main, so they can look at Olafmeister. That's really about it. Waiting now for FaZe to make a move, start to instigate a few fights. Get Right. I'm still a fan of this position, but okay, this is good. Are they going to boost someone into vent, which actually means he's got a lot more support now. And Molly does come out, though, which somewhat rejects that whole play. Get Right forced back into the awkward angle of pipes. 40 seconds left. FaZe, at least they've got one thing going against them, that's time. But they're basically out on the A site because they baited all the rotations.
And he gets the opener, though. Olaf also looking in for Get Right. Manages to get that kill in mid. Bomb goes down. Molotov trying to push the T-side players out of position, but in the end, it's all for naught for NiP. This is a 5-on-3 situation. This is very unlikely to win. Rez could pick off Olafmeister, and indeed he does, but That may be all they will find in this round, as FaZe have once again shown their dominance, shown their prowess, and just overrun the A site to plant a bomb and take themselves a 13th round for NiP. That would be a lot worse if they hadn't built up an okay set of economy. 3 players above that $4,000 after this next loss bonus. Actually 4 players for that matter. They should have a full buy here. NiP should be able to force the issue back together again. Only 2 players need to reinvest. Get Right and Forest. Could drop a rifle for Get Right. And yeah, Rez will do just that. AK for him. The AWP, of course, staying in play for Draken. Still a pretty decent economy, I have to admit, from NiP, considering the circumstances that they are in. $64.50 on Draken. Big money banks can build around him. And FaZe have the AKs out to play here for the T side. NiP holding a good fight, though. They're only within 2 rounds of FaZe. And considering that we were expecting them to get swept as they did in the earlier series, and it's actually a very good play so far. Draken will open things up. Olafmeister does try and back take the AWP out of the action as the early trades go down in B halls.
Both teams now spreading out. Panning across the map as FaZe lining up for those mid smokes. Actually decide to counteract that, go for the mollies instead. Than just the simple flashes. Only 1 player to actually utilize them. Putting Rain, I think, just in close vent. Ready to drop down, but his timing is just too weak. Get Right. Peeks on around, deals with him. And that smoke suddenly becomes 10 times harder. Timing nearly being so fruitful, but at this point, just Get Right being in that corner basically ends the round. Rez playing with him for the double peek. He's Guardian, Nico, none the wiser. Olaf, all on you, buddy. 38 seconds or so. Forest watching B main like a hawk, sees the leg, starts to rattle on away, and they'll finish it off. NiP 12-13.
Well then, this gets interesting now. FaZe have limited economy. And I was going to say they have the option to either eco it, get a better rifle round, but allow NiP to even the scoreline, or force the issue in, run a greater risk of NiP potentially taking the first map point, but it looks like they've decided where they want to go with this one. 2 AKs, a Galil, UMP, and a CZ. Armor and limited utility out for everybody here on the FaZe side. Mid control, looking to get gain as long as Olafmeister also holding down on the B site, but does leave that control back away. The bomb has made its way into a squeaky. Forest covering off that angle, and there are 2 other CTs there, ready to receive the FaZe clan push. And they're stacking in. Mid control looking to get gain. Carrigan in particular boosted up on top of the boost.
Forest is about to have so much fun. Honestly, once that door opens, he's going to have a field day. If Draken does his job right as well, and they all play together as one cohesive unit on this A site, this defense should be crazy good. Exist already starting the show. Rain does tap down Forest, but Draken holding things down with the orb. 1 tapped out by Rain, though, who goes for a second. The molly will burn him out. Carrigan getting aggressive with the Galil. Still holds the advantage of FaZe. Bombs will be picked up, planted open. Rez over towards Car, ready with his AK to try and clutch us out 1v2. There's no idea on the positions of a lot of these players. They had time to really relocate. Olafmeister going for the long rotate back into A main. Does leave Carrigan alone for now, but at this point, Rez knows where he is. Tries to molly him into the peak. Carrigan takes it hook, line, and sinker, falling for the bait. Smoke now going to come on towards the bomb. Rez has himself a kit. Might just stick this, but no, not going to have any of it at all. Olafmeister making noise. The flash is going to be thrown, and Rez is going to get straight on it. At this point, he holds it down. He prays. And he's going to get away with it. NiP 13-13. Rez makes it work. With the old idea of pros don't fake, Olafmeister unable to spray through the smoke.
Oh my god. Wow, that got very, very tense for Rez there. And Olaf, you can see him shaking his head. He is not happy about that. Could have so easily sprayed, just wasn't on angle, didn't quite have the positioning right. Trying to spray to the left-hand side of the bomb, whereas Rez was on the right. Perfectly played so far here. NiP buying their lifeline up against FaZe. The AK stays in play, but everybody else has pistols, and already they will open things up with Draken taking down Rain. Olaf does try and right back and take that orb efficiently out of action, and Reds will do everything he can to defend. Good grenade, tagging Carrigan at 63 HP, and Get Right is here, supporting him. 4-on-4 situation, and a great spree. A little bit further to the left, and Get Right would have got a lot of damage on Guardian, but he'll get out unscathed, getting away scot-free. A good thing coming on through for the gap in the smoke. NiP will be able to take down Get Right quite a little bit, but doesn't quite get that kill. Now 3 players left alive for FaZe, and NiP is starting to close in the gap. Folofmeister is going to get 2 kills back. Get Right into headshot, does take Guardian out of the action, turn it into a 2 versus 2, but meanwhile FaZe have made their way into mid-control. Olaf and Carrigan going to get this bomb down, maybe set up the retake against the NiP.
"45 seconds, bomb to be planted, should cut that time down somewhat." Olaf, don't like this position though, especially when you got Rez facing in like that. Leaves it all on Carrigan. Had some nice tries at some clutches in the past, but has struggled to pull through. It's going to be the same storyline here. NiP, they take the lead against FaZe. I can't believe what I'm witnessing, but it is going to be NiP a round up.
For the first time, I think, since the early couple of pistol rounds and conversions, NiP will have a lead against FaZe Clan. Of course, that bomb plant plus the lost bonuses that FaZe have accumulated over the past 3 rounds means that they have a bye. AK is coming out, AWP of course dropped, and FaZe have a chance still. NiP playing for map point at this point. Probably a map victory more than anything else. If they can take FaZe out, then that means very little money to work with, and odds-on chances for NiP to bring themselves over the edge in terms of cash. Early default comes in from FaZe. So far, untradeable positions, but are playing passive in that regard. Olaf, of course, taking a look into the B main area, looking for a CT, hoping that Draken in particular has that AWP positioned to try and shut him down to take that early advantage for FaZe, but no cigars so far for the T side. Still got a minute to work with, a little over that. Make their way. It looks like it might be an A main split or counter boost. I'm not 100% sure, judging from the positioning, but either way, minute left to go. FaZe, plenty of options to work with.
Draken looking in towards A main with the AWP, finds the first pick, won't re-peek, instead cautious of the door plate. Retreats towards quad. Oh, actually stuck in MBK. That's a little bit rougher. Forest, though, facing wide. I like this because it's before the cross smoke comes down. A rookie mistake from FaZe that comes back to haunt them. A 2-man advantage put in play now for these Swedes. Flash to be thrown. Draken left blind. Guardian nearly being pushed up by Get Right, but peeks out with the AWP. Let's find the kill. The B site nearly taken, but they've just not checked for res. Holding the cross from heaven. Defensive molly next to be thrown. 20 seconds on the clock. At this point, he could make a suicide run, and it wouldn't even matter. Forest, same for him. Sees the AWP, drops down, kills off Guardian. The bomb does get planted, but this round is over. NiP, map point.
FaZe are 2 from overtime now. This could be a very surprising victory for NiP. And FaZe, remember, have a lot of pressure on this particular matchup. A quick pause. Flakes, if you would be so kind as to tell me the context for it. Actually, no, never mind. I can see that right now. It's a FaZe tactical. 30 seconds to think this through and take a moment. Discuss how they're going to get to overtime, how they're going to force the issue away from NiP. Of course, they have to force buy in this round. They've got the AKs, they've got the utility and the Kevlar helmets, etc. NiP still have that AWP in play. They still have 3 AKs negating all their head armor of FaZe. Round 29, 2 for FaZe to go to. 15-15 overtime against NiP.
The interesting thing is that between these two teams as they play, Cash has rarely come up, if I recall. And the only time it did was when it came up as that third map, that decider. And NiP never were able to force it there. Now they're opting to actually pick it as their map choice. You can see it really working out for them. I mean, this is why, I think I'm surprised anyway, because NiP have struggled quite a lot up against FaZe. I mean, just the players, the form of FaZe, has been a really hard thing for a lot of teams to crack. But this is very impressive from NiP, I think, on Cash. And yeah, sure, it's their map pick, so perhaps we should have expected a bit more because of it being the curveball and the veto. But at the end of the day, you didn't expect 15-13, and potentially for them to close it out now. There's already a few picks come through. Olaf taking down Get Right to make it a 3-for-3. Defensive flash going to be thrown by Rez. Can't peek off the back of that. Exist potentially the strongest players in this round just because he's in vent. He can spot what's going on towards mid, can hear those players rotating, and give away the entire FaZe plan.
Still a 3-on-3. Rez on 1 HP, but they have the even man advantage. He has to just be very, very careful with where he takes his fights. 2 players defending the B site. Exist with the aggressive angle, looking into the halls. Actually, he's actually in the vents, looking into mid control. Guardian, I think he may have not spotted that pixel. This may be an advantage. He spots out legs, Rez away, takes down Guardian, looking for Karrigan next. But Karrigan is able to get the trade, leaving it on Rez as the last man. Far back in tree, looking for a wallbanger. Forest flashing their heaven position. Trying to get a jump on FaZe Clan, trying to force a mistake. The bomb will go down. A 2 versus 2 retake, but I think FaZe just have the edge. Rez on a single point of damage. Karrigan on 20 HP of his own. Smokes down, and NiP will take their time with this. They cannot afford to make a single mistake as Forest starts to peek in, starts to look in heaven. Olaf expecting players to be from mid, but no one in the vents. It's Karrigan to shut down a backstep on Rez. Forest goes dropping in, taking him out of the action. Olaf to Olaf Meister. Right here, back in main. Bomb planted and is ticking away. The fuse kit. Forest has to stick it now. He's got no time. Olaf will peek in and get the final kill to bring it to 15-14. Favor to NiP, but FaZe 1 away from overtime.
Such a hard retake for NiP to make work. Of course, having a player just on 1 HP. Sure, FaZe relatively low as well, but they just didn't have the tools needed to open things up. They were also convinced someone was on the site as well, which was just even more problematic for them. So many aggressive angle couldn't be taken. And it pitches us here. Round 30. OT or bust for FaZe. It is going to be Guardian, Olaf grouping up in A main. Rain to join them with the bomb on his back. FaZe making me think from this setup here, they might just wait for the smoke to fold. And then just throw a simple pop flash cross smoke and just take the contact. NiKo already with that kill. That's exactly the play. They're just going to walk out. Olaf close to exist, but the trade is still strong. Karrigan holding for those rotators now in mid, trying to be that lurker here. And this may work out perfectly. Rez going to walk right into his arms. But Karrigan loses the duel.
Guardian chimes right back, taking Get Right out of the action. It's a 2 versus 3. NiP and man disadvantage, and Rez is on 6 HP if Forest falls, and it's going to be all over. And FaZe will bring us to OT. Bombs ticking, time's ticking away. The fuse kit's in play, and NiKo surely must have heard that first step from Forest. Never mind, Forest all crossing it, shut down for it. Guardian with the final AWP shot to shut down Rez and bring us to overtime. 15-15, NiP unable to close out the final round against FaZe.
Was going straight away. Looks like timeout to try and be put in play. So they will be. For FaZe, it's a hard-fought battle for them to get here. They can't screw this up now. NiP, they struggled to close it out once, but I don't think a second time around that it'll go the same way. Like watching that big game all over again. 19-17 was the scoreline there for big. And it kind of played out the same way.
Curiosity killed the cat, but do you remember what map that game was played on?
The reason why I'm bringing it up is because it was on cache.
It was on cache. Okay, yeah. Then. This could get interesting still. NiP with a chance. FaZe, not 100% known for their cache dominances, but T-side is still towards their favour. As we do go into the first round of overtime. AWP is out for both sides. Single up set up. Rain will be the first man in with the AK, and Nico connecting sprays on two individual players. Draken and Rez are down. NiP already have to a retake in this bomb plant coming in from FaZe. Get right, will get aggressive, but Nico will shut him out all the same. Forrest and Exist, last two alive. Carrigan does get caught off guard, but a 4 vs 2 retake. Well an advantage of FaZe. NiP getting shut down in the effective fashion that FaZe know how. Aggression, pure and true. The 16th on the board.
That's all it really was from FaZe. Just run at that B site, take the aggressive play. Frag after frag fell into the laps, and just like that, they took a lot of damage. But they found all the kills. The round swings their way very easily. 16-15. And the game plan for FaZe really is going to be just to get that swift 3-0. That's all they want right now. 3-0, then they have time to play with on their CT side. Question for NiP is how many times are they going to let FaZe go for those quicken frontal plays? Because there are ways to very easily counter that. You know, just use your mollies, use your utility, position yourself towards the right sites. Less reliance on mid and just put more players on towards that B. I mean, 2 players here is so far so good. Wouldn't be ideal if it was an A play, but they've got the right idea because FaZe are pushing up on towards that B site again. Same old. Forrest trying to step up, but Rain and Nico both combine. And even with NiP throwing their mollies and having 2 players on the site, they still just could not hold it. They just lost all their jewels. And that's where things just get awkward at this point. Downright awkward.
It is awkward when you're losing against B site rushes from FaZe. NiP are in a bit of a stalemate at the moment. What do you really do? Exist will also fall to Carrigan, leaving it Draken and Get Right to save. But yeah, as you said, this is very, very awkward for NiP. FaZe are a couple rounds away from closing out this map right now. Get their 17th on the board, but I'm just questioning how you lose to just straight up rushes from the FaZe clan. Like, they just flash their way in, smoke sometimes. But outside of that, a straight up push from FaZe. 2 players stay alive, 17-15. NiP also, because of this 10k limit on MR3, is pretty broken in the economy state. They have to force down. It's not going to be looking pretty. They'll get the AWP in the M4, but UMP, CZs, not looking like the best setup here for the CT side.
This time it's going to be a much deeper B main smoke. FaZe finally done with the B site. Now they're looking to really get aggressive in mid. Rain just walking out, smoke, Draken. This scalp may have just been spotted. The barrel almost certainly has. He knows that Draken's there. Rain taps him down, dismissing him. Now hungry for more. Smoke going towards the tip of highway. Nico taking down Rez. This B site actually a better target at this point, but it doesn't matter because Guardian with brute force takes down Forrest. Rotate coming in from Get Right, but these pistols are struggling. Rain walks through. The patch is perfect. Just like that FaZe, they basically have the round. There really is nothing more to it. 18-15.
The slaughterfest from FaZe in the first half of overtime. Map point for them now. NiP need to make this T side work in its finest, else we will head to map 2 and NiP will be down in the series. 3 to find to force double OT. FaZe got the double AWP set up from Guardian and Nico. Single AWP from NiP of Draken. He's been a pretty decent player, but sadly not fragging in the way that NiP would have liked him to. This AWP needs to work now. First spot, can't get the flick on Nico as he shuts him down. Exist will smoke the cross, flashbang his teammates in as they make their way in from Squeaky, but Carrigan's got the cross locked and Nico is still watching. He's still back here on the site itself as Carrigan gets yet another frag. In Forklift, a 2-on-5. Bomb dropped, Rez and Get Right, the last 2 left alive here for NiP. I don't want to say it's over, but Flakes, I believe this one may be over.
You don't want to say it, but you just said it. Really is what it is, isn't it? Says it all. Minute on the clock. NiP trying to bring it back. They're never going to give up. They'd be lying to themselves if they didn't think this was a tough round. Get Right, at least make it a little bit easier now as he takes down Carrigan. That bomb stuck in such an awkward position. Nico will face out, but he hits hit shot with the AWP as well. Guardian finishing off Rez, 19-15, map 1 to the way of FaZe after a tough slog through overtime.